What's up, guys? It is Rapmark here.
And the Casual Houseplant.
And today we are reviewing...
Zombieland 2 Double Tap.
Indeed. It was the sequel no one was expecting, and no one knew what they wanted. And you know what? It freaking knocked it out of the park, I think. I think it was better than the first one, to be completely honest.
As far as sequels go, I'll say definitely did knock it out of the park. It was better than I expected, just because it has been a 10-year gap since 2009 when the first one had come out. But definitely worth a watch. I will argue, though, I still like the first one better, because it's a classic.
Yeah. Like, that one's going to have a special place in my heart. To be, like, there was a lot of things I did like better about this one than the first one, but I'd say on the whole they're pretty evenly matched. I think it was mostly just because of like the fun character interactions, and there was more characters that kind of put it up a peg a little bit for me.
Definitely, and the script came through, so it all played hand in hand together to make one awesome film.
Yeah, like oh my gosh, just the script, like, it played so much into the original. Like, I'm so glad they waited for the original writers for this, because this thing has been in limbo for years, because when they wanted to do it, they decided they wanted to do it, everyone was like either on other films or weren't available, and the stars aligned, and they had the same writers, same director, I think, too, didn't they?
That I didn't check into.
Okay, but yeah, all the original cast, and my God, they look incredible for how much time has passed.
Mm-hmm.
I remember Woody Harrelson. He like put on some weight. Like, he was kind of a much heftier guy in like Hunger Games last time I saw him. And then
but he definitely embodies Tallahassee full and full.
Oh yeah. Perfect. Just his snark is just like aloof behavior, and it's just general nonsense.
I will state, though, I did not see any Twinkies in this film.
I was disappointed in that too. I noticed that. I was just like, oh my gosh.
But I did not see one.
Indeed. I was like hoping, like, with the clown reference, just like, come on, tell me there's a Twinkie somewhere in there. Like, oh my gosh. And just the music, like that whole first scene.
Master puppets.
Exactly. It's like Metallica while killing zombies. It's like the perfect thing you would imagine for something like that.
That or Iron Maiden, I could see. But
Ooh.
Played really well for the soundtrack.
Oh yeah. And it played really well with the shots they took. Like the slow-mo. All the blast. Like, I love how this thing was shot.
Mm-hmm. Definitely stayed true to the original cinema style. So, really gives you a nice kick in the face. Still have that just lovely addition of CGI when needed, but not overly done. And the zombies still look great.
Oh my gosh.
100%.
Even better, like, apparently there's new mutations now, and
they cause some shitty problems.
Oh yeah. Like, well, I don't know, should we go into the zombies or go into spoilers?
Well, let's overview the story first, I think.
Alright. So we'll save it for the spoiler section. So, what else can we say about, like, oh my gosh, how they had the whole rules thing, and then, one of the funniest parts, the doppelgangers. Like, we'll definitely get into that more in the spoilers, but honestly, how did you feel about the doppelgangers? What was your overall impression of that?
Doppelgangers, I'm glad that they were only there for the amount of time that they did play in the movie, because they didn't choose to overdo it and make it like an overlapping storyline for the whole thing. Yeah. It's just a short little segment, but good for some solid laughs.
Oh yeah, and the amount of references to the original one, like...
Well, there's a lot of history there that you have to tap back into.
There is, but it's like, oh my gosh. I wasn't expecting them to go into it so much in the beginning.
Mm-hmm. Like, well, gotta get everyone refamiliarized. It's been that 10-year gap, and just be like, hey, we're back. Thanks for coming. Like,
yeah, like the whole opening scene was just like that. You remember, it was just like, hey, thanks for come back. It's been a while. Mm-hmm. There are other zombie zombie pickings you could choose from. So thanks for coming to this one.
Mm.
I like how it just acknowledged this big space.
And from the forefront, you learn about a new type of zombie called a Homer. Very beginning scene. And I think the Homer is probably my favorite type of zombie. I would probably be a Homer, realistically.
Or a box of rocks.
Yep, or in a box of rocks chasing butterflies or
Butterfly.
mannequins or, statues that look remotely human and getting my tongue stuck to them.
Oh my gosh! What did you think of the kill of the year? Like things they shot. Like there were only 3 of those types of scenes, but each one of them was just so great.
They definitely got some creative ones again.
Indeed. And then I won't get into until spoilers, but yes, there is actually 2 post-credit scenes.
So make sure to stay till the very, very, very end.
Yeah,
You'll even see credit to Canada and a couple other places.
Mhm.
But once you're at the very bottom, the very last seconds, you'll get one more sneak peek at something.
Indeed. And we almost left after before the last one came in.
Yeah, glad I stayed until all the last film credits.
Yeah, and normally that's what I do just because I'm really into film and all that kind of stuff. So I usually like to see the credits. And we usually do stay until the end credits, even if there is no scene.
Yeah, we try, but this one was very tricky because they make you think it's over.
Yeah.
So it's a long credit roll.
So what got you to stop at that last second, just like, I'm going to sit here and see what happens?
Honestly, the music changed.
Yeah.
Because the credits music was kind of normal at first for a while. Like, there was some Elvis playing, some other stuff. But then, towards the very, very end, it started getting intense again. I was like, oh, like,
something's got to be coming. Yeah, that's kind of what stopped me there.
Then I was like, okay, I'm going to stand here for a minute just so I can see if anything pops up. And oh, it did.
Oh yeah, it definitely was a payoff. So you definitely want to stay until the end on this one because this movie hits in all the right spots. I personally thought it was better or on par with the first one. The first one will always have a special place in my heart. Like I saw it 5 times in theaters, and you only saw it once, but you bought it right after DVD, and you watch it a lot.
It was a classic instantly.
Oh yeah.
So, had to.
Oh yeah. And from what we've heard, they're doing a 3rd.
Supposedly.
Yes.
Don't know if it'll take another 10 years.
They're not thinking it. It depends on how good this one does. And from what I've been looking into, this one actually had a whole lot of views for tonight when it came out.
Oh, I imagine so. But we'll see.
We'll see.
The ending is very open.
Yes, I am definitely crossing my fingers. Trilogies have a way of either falling flat or being really good, so here's hoping they knock it out of the park.
Fingers crossed.
Indeed. So let's go to our final verdicts for this section in this movie. Me, I'm going to give this one, oh my gosh, I remember when I did the original one, I gave it a, what did I give it? That was so long ago. That was 10 years ago. I think I gave it a 7.
A 7?
Yeah.
For the first one?
Well, I was also trying to be way too self-important. I have much less rigid standards by now. If I were to rate it now, I probably would give it a 9.
I'd probably give it a 8.3. As far as sequels go, completely solid. Definitely in the spirit of the original one. But there are some parts where it's just kind of cheese, which isn't bad. Definitely enjoyable.
So yeah, so the first one I would definitely probably give a 9 with the standards I have now. A little more experience, but a little less head up my ass. This one I'd give, oh my gosh. I wanna say 9. I really do,
then
but
it's just say it.
Yeah, I'm gonna give it a 9.
Everyone has their opinion.
Indeed, yeah. It was a really put together sequel, and there were some not without its flaws, obviously. I mean, there were some parts that were just you want to face palm.
But I
But
will
a
say,
lot of
none
it
of those
was perfect.
parts involve Rosario Dawson. She was perfect. I love her. I always have. I always will.
Aces. So yeah, so pretty much an 8 out of 10 for you and a 9 out of 10 for me.
Mm-hmm.
Our first solid difference of opinion.
But I did love it.
Indeed, I did as well, and I'm glad you were there to enjoy it with me.
Yes.
I really enjoy these.
Shall we get into spoilers?
Indeed, let's. So we will see you here in a little bit. Alright guys, so we are back with the spoiler section for this. So let's slowly get this off with, the very first where it actually, it discusses about not only all the references to the original, how it's been a while, but also to the description of all the new zombies.
Yes. So they welcome you on in the intro, and then they introduce you to, I'm trying to remember all three. There's Homers,
which are dumber than a box of rocks. Their brains are completely
they will
melted.
chase statues. They are super stupid, and they are wonderful.
Yes, they are. They'll chase after butterflies, get their tongue stuck on poles. That one was hilarious.
Oh, it was fucking solid. Then the one after that, I'm having a hard time remembering.
Yeah,
More
I remember.
intelligent.
I remember. Oh, what is it called? Was it the Einstein?
Oh, Hawking.
Hawking's. There you go. Hawking's. Yes.
Stephen Hawking.
Indeed, they're very bright. Like the one it introduces you to, it's like a scientist woman who's chasing another one, and he locks himself in a retinal scan. He thinks he's safe,
but there's a corpse on the ground of another lab member. She gets down there, sucks his eyeball out. Her eye doesn't work on the retinal scanner, but she shows the one in her mouth, and it opens the door right up.
Yep. Bye-bye.
She gets her snack.
Exactly.
So, successful mission.
Indeed. So zombies with, they have a sort of functioning brain, better for hunting, for sure. They're not just lost in the woods, chasing butterflies.
Exactly. And then one they kind of introduce you to briefly throughout the whole movie is the T-800.
Yes, in reference to the Terminator of renown.
But those ones are mean motherfuckers.
They're hyper aggressive, super smart, and they can take way more bullets.
Yeah, even headshots like a double tap doesn't seem to work unless you really just smash the whole skull open. Which is
like we saw one get hit by a car, one gets smashed.
One got shot in the head like 3 times and shot in the body a bunch, and then Tallahassee crushed it with his boot.
Indeed.
They will not stop. They're hungry.
That's right. Perfect hunting machines.
Yes.
Of nature.
And then, to get into the real depthy stuff. So, the gang decided to take a camp out over in the White House, as all the trailers showed. Then, of course, they're doing the whole family functioning, la 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 la. And then,
there's something like amiss,
Columbus and Wichita are still going on. Like, they share a room together, they're dating, they've done the thing. But it opens with Columbus deciding he wants to improve her mood by trying to propose to her. And it doesn't quite go over so well. She gets spooked. And she decides to evacuate the whole situation, just like in the first.
Red alert.
And just leaves them a note on the table in traditional Wichita style.
And that
her and Little Rock are zooming off. And, of course, they stole Tallahassee's new vehicle, the Beast.
Indeed. Yeah, then that note becomes a huge reference joke for so much of the movie.
Well, I mean, it's a fucked up way to break up with someone. You just leave a note.
Yeah, and a not very good one either.
Yeah.
It was pretty bad.
And then, in the sadness of it all, Columbus decides to go retail shopping, just for some kicks and giggles. But apparently he's been stewing over for her over a month. And
driving.
That's when at the mall, he runs into this woman clad in pink named Madison, who you soon learn is dumber than a box of rocks.
All in pink. Apparently she's been living in a freezer
the entire time at the mall, but she's not smart enough to turn off the freezer. She just hoped the electricity would eventually go out.
But apparently as long as it rains, you know, and the dams keep filling and they don't fall over, apparently electricity will keep going in certain areas.
Yep, so she's constantly in a winter coat.
Though I like how the joke was, it's just like, zombies eat brains, and that's why she's still alive.
She has no brains. And, oh god, it's true, and you see that more as it goes on, but Columbus is lonely and gets the grand old idea of, you know what, we should take her home with us. That'd be great for me. And
Indeed. And she was flirting like crazy. Like you
she was. She's been alone for years in a freezer, and she just pounces him big time.
Oh yeah.
And he's like, wait, hold on, I don't feel right about this. We're on me and my girlfriend's bed, and she's like, are you worried about Jesus? I know ways around that. And yeah, so she gives him a threat.
It's just like either
about
we're doing this
sleeping
now.
with Tallahassee, but she ends up banging Columbus.
Oh god, and that is one of the funniest lines there. As they're going at it, Tallahassee's up there living it, and he's just like, oh my god, what is the line? Something, but
he's nutting up, but he's not shutting
up.
up.
There we go. Yeah.
And
it's just a standard line. Like he says it, what, like I think 8 times during the movie he said that same line.
Well, it's his thing.
Exactly.
You have to say it.
Yeah.
But definitely good role for Woody Harrelson. I love him as Tallahassee.
Oh yeah, it's the perfect role for it because he plays like it plays to his strengths as an actor, which is the goofy but like kind of rough, standoffish kind of character.
Yeah. But then, to make matters worse, right after Columbus and Madison do the deed, Tallahassee hears a weird noise downstairs. As does Columbus, so they meet in the hallway to go figure out what this noise was. And then, lo and behold, Wichita has returned and she's in the garage. She says she's just back for ammo and weapons. And some really awkward tension just starts between her and Columbus, because, you know, she broke up with them and just zoomed off.
And then
So
they
there's
start talking, yeah.
a little back and forth jamber between there. But she lets us know that Little Rock has gone missing with a boy. And as she begins
From
describing
Berkeley.
the boy from Berkeley, he's a pacifist. He doesn't believe in weapons, and all he has is a guitar. It shows some great scenes of Wichita just awkwardly sitting on a lawn chair while her sister is getting serenaded by this poser who's claiming to have written all these famous songs.
Freaking Bob Dylan
Like,
songs.
Just
This,
bad.
yeah. It was so cringy.
But it reminds me of almost every dude in high school with a guitar that I do. So I'm calling some people out.
Yeah, for reals. I think we've all had those people. We
Yep.
all know those
I'm
people.
surprised they didn't touch on the Wonderwall thing, but
Oh my god, that would have been amazing.
so then Little Rock decides she wants to go to this place called Babylon. Well, correction. Step back.
Yeah.
She decides she wants to go to Graceland. But not with Tallahassee, with this boy, Berkeley. And Wichita says no, which she doesn't like very much. So they ditch Wichita in the middle
And
of
leave a
nowhere.
note.
And leave a note and take Tallahassee's car to go to Graceland. And then, from there, the whole gang decides to go tagging along. But Wichita has to awkwardly meet Madison.
Oh gosh, yeah. So as they're talking, you know, you think there's some sort of reconciliation going on. And then all of a sudden Madison comes down. It's just like, are you coming back to bed? And oh my gosh, we both just burst out laughing at that line. We were just like,
And
oh,
Wichita was
God.
just like, a real new beginning, a real step.
That didn't take long, did it?
But then Madison decides to come along, and they're all packing their stuff into
Oh
a
my
minivan, which Tallahassee is
Another
really
funny
pissed
scene,
about.
yeah.
And she brings like 8 bags with her, big bags. Then Tallahassee, being the gentleman that he is, says, "Oh, just
I'll
get
get
in the
this."
car. I'll get it. Get in." And then
Slams
boom,
the door.
leaves
Just
them all
takes
out.
it off. I totally would do the same thing.
Oh, I can't blame him.
Fuck that shit.
And then midway through there, they decide, oh, well, I really hate this minivan, but I see a tour bus looking thing down in this ditch.
Was it a tour bus or was it a
it was like an RV tour bus.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So they go down to investigate, but Madison, being stupid as all hell, decides to open the RV door without doing any checks on the battery or anything first, and the alarm goes off, summoning a bunch of zombies.
You know, you have a few normal ones.
Few stupid homers.
Yeah, oh my gosh, the one that was just that's why I always mention that one, the one chasing the butterflies. He's literally just walking around after this butterfly playing in front of
He's not a threat. Never mind.
Don't waste the bullet. Don't waste the bullet.
But that's where you get your first main intro to watching what a T-800 can do. Because that's what happens to crawl up and start attacking Tallahassee. At the very end, when you think the fight's over, that it does not go down without a fight.
Yeah, like
Tallahassee has to kick him in with a boot after shooting him like over 9 times.
Yeah, like it's insane. It comes out like it's very disfigured, like it's twitching, like, and he blasts it twice in the head.
Nothing. Gets right back up.
Yeah, well, it knocks him down, but yeah, he just jerks back up. Then he blasts him 3 times in the chest. Still nothing. And then he keeps coming. He uses all of his shotgun ammo on him. So he has to use 2 pistols now.
Then still nothing. Still coming at him.
Yeah.
It's right at his feet.
Multiple bullets in his skull, and still nothing. So finally
steps on him like a bug.
But it was awesome because it blew up like a melon.
Mm-hmm.
I thought that was cool.
Squish.
That's right. Can't have a good skull crush without a good squish.
True. But once they decide that they finally got the RV and they want to drive it out of the lot, there's tire spikes. And it all gets ruined, and they get stuck yet again in the minivan.
And he's just so bummed out about it.
He just does not want to go to Graceland riding in a minivan. But they end up doing exactly that. But when they get to Graceland, it's in total shambles, nothing to even go into, there's no sign of the Beast, or her sister, or anything. So they decide to drive out, but then they hit the Hound Dog Motel.
Which is apparently where another Elvis fan who took a whole bunch of like stuff from there and sort of became an Elvis shrine.
Mm-hmm.
And that's where they went briefly. They left
where they meet Nevada, played by Rosario Dawson.
Oh yeah. Oh, God, I loved her in this.
She was wonderful, and
loved her in every way.
They see the Beast in front of the hotel, but they go in, there's no sign of Little Rock, no sign of Berkeley, and Tallahassee decides to have a soulful moment on the piano, playing some Elvis tunes. But that's when he's confronted with Nevada, because she almost kills him, knocks him off the piano chair, gets a gun to his face in the ground, and from there you just kind of get that sense that something's going to happen.
And that's also where you get another reference from the old movie, almost murrayed him.
Mm-hmm. Bringing up all the guilt Columbus had in the first one about killing Bill Murray. So apparently it's become a globalized term where
killing someone who you think is a zombie but isn't.
You murdered him. And he's like, oh my God, who would have done that? Oh no. This is all panic. It's just like, she's like, if I find the person who did that, I'm gonna kill him. And he's like, oh yeah, me too. After you kill him, I'll kill him too.
Just like, wait, what? Just like totally trying to play it off in the most awkward way possible.
But once they figure out no sign of the kids there, Tallahassee and Nevada decide to go off to the bar, have a drink, talk about their Elvis stories. And then they decide, you know what? It's the zombie apocalypse. I haven't got down in a while. Let's go back to my bedroom. And Tallahassee gets laid, ladies and gentlemen.
Indeed, it finally happens. The thing that they hoped would happen in the first one finally happened.
Then, terribly after, you get to see Tallahassee dressed up in an Elvis costume trying to wake up Rosario Dawson in a sexy way in the morning, which is quickly interrupted by the honking of a very obnoxious horn.
Which leads to the funniest like scene in probably the whole movie.
The doppelgangers. And they plop outside. Tallahassee's screaming about the car because they planted it right on the beast. And lo and behold, who hops out? A dude who has also banged Nevada and looks a lot like Tallahassee.
And he has a sidekick who also
Is Columbus. But their names, I'm having a hard time remembering.
Oh my gosh, it's
Albuquerque?
Albuquerque is
Flagstaff.
Flagstaff
is the doppelganger of Columbus.
Yeah. And oh my god, it's just like everyone is just like, don't those two remind you of someone?
Just oh, they're terrible.
Yeah, it's just like,
are they uniquely annoying? No, not uniquely.
Not unique at all.
And that part was glorious, but Tallahassee doesn't really bond with Albuquerque at all. But on the other hand, Columbus does bond with Flagstaff because they get along like two peas in a pod. They both have a set of rules, but the other one are commandments.
Yes, and Flagstaff is all about like Terminator. He makes so many Terminator references.
Yeah, big time. And then at one point, a bunch of zombies decide to go and attack his car. So, them being the new guys in town, decide they can go handle it because it's their car and they brought them there. So, you see this little fight scene. Everyone's inside watching. And then once they come back in, you notice Albuquerque has a bite.
Just like, no, that's a tattoo.
I got a tattoo,
You got a tattoo of zombie bites?
No, it's fine, it's fine. Then he starts puking and twitching at the bar, and lo and behold, his friend tries ratting him out, and then
he's just like, hey, you got bit twice. And then they both start to turn.
And then everyone just panics and starts trying to shoot him, but Flagstaff turns into a T-800.
Mm-hmm.
So it makes for a hell of a fight. They absolutely wreck this motel, slamming all the way through it.
Yeah,
every step
multiple
of the way.
Gunshots, multiple like close calls. Oh my gosh!
Statues hitting into them, a pool ball getting shoved in someone's mouth, a guitar getting hit. Poor Jesse Eisenberg.
Elvis's shoes getting mangled.
Just a bunch of bad juju right there.
Oh yeah.
But of course they come out on top. The zombies are dead. Then they decide, okay, we need to move on and figure out what's happening. Nevada tells them that Berkeley was talking about a place called Babylon. And that's where they were headed, which is some hippie commune where there's no weapons.
Where they went in a different vehicle because, as Berkeley said, the beast was too establishment. Such a poser. It was such a poser.
So instead they took Elvis's pink Cadillac.
Oh yeah.
Which Tallahassee really wanted.
Oh yeah, I would too. I'd drive that Cadillac in a heartbeat.
Then Tallahassee decides he wants to try and drive his counterpart's truck. It's a monster truck, keep in mind, and he ends up just destroying some big guitar monuments, running into the beast, running all over the place.
And eventually turns the engine out.
He kills it. Then he's like, well, fuck. Then they get back in the minivan. He goes zooming off again. And
he finally breaks the side view. He finally destroys the side view mirror, though. He tried 3 times before then to do it, and it's just like, nope. Well then, and he finally got it.
And once they're all back in, Madison is eating some trail mix, which she didn't know had nuts in it, which she's apparently allergic to. You find out later.
It's just like trail mix.
But
like,
everyone starts just having this terrible allergic reaction. And Madison just starts having like hives break out on her face, her tongue is swollen.
And they think she's turning, yeah.
Think she's gonna be a zombie. She gets out of the car, she starts puking everywhere and like growling and like wandering into the woods. Then they're like, I want to do the honor so badly, but you should go out there and take care of her. So Columbus goes out there and he shoots her and gets back in the car and they drive off to find Babylon. But along their way there, some odd miles down the road, lo and behold, who shows back up?
In a clown freaking truck.
Madison.
Oh my
Turns out
gosh.
that Columbus didn't have the heart to shoot her and just shot over her head to scare her off. And it's just an allergic reaction. She gets back in the minivan with everyone, to everyone's delight.
We were both kind of face palming at that one.
Yeah, I was really excited that she was dead because I was just done with. I was done.
Yeah, she was.
But
She had her moment, and yeah, I'm glad that she didn't play a prominent role though after that though,
yeah,
because that would have been too much.
but once they do get to Babylon, Tallahassee decides to blow up the minivan with a grenade.
He hates that minivan
He
so
hates
much.
it. And after he does that, they all enter inside. There's a big fight about him having to give up his guns. But then once they're in, they find Little Rock. They have a heartwarming reunion, but Little Rock is not thrilled. Like, it's that embarrassed, like, oh my god, my family showed up at, like, this spot full of cool people. What are they doing here? Oh god, why me?
Yeah.
And then Tallahassee has to control his rage and not attack the Berkeley boy that took away his little girl. It's like, you're Berkeley! And so they're having some drinks, they're talking, they're trying to relax. And just nothing seems to be quite off about this place. There's pot everywhere. It's a bunch of hippies. The two rules there are no weapons and no group sex. But they seem really quick to defer the second rule.
Indeed.
Because,
It's just
like, whenever an
group
opportunity
sex.
comes up, they're like, okay, group sex? I guess so. And it's like, whoa, everyone else is like, no, hold up.
Just like, hold your roll there, dude.
Yep. And then, after about spending a night there, Tallahassee decides he wants to go adventuring and leave and possibly go back for some more action with Nevada.
Indeed.
So he starts heading out in a truck that he found, no explanation. And
It's just a random truck.
he
There
gets
you go.
midway down the road, but then you see a bunch of T-800s come running across this field.
Like it's a herd. It's literally like a herd.
bunch, like over 100, over 200. Too many. And he quickly throws it in reverse, heads back to Babylon, bursts in, tells everyone what's happening, and everyone's like, oh, well, we don't really have anything to do about it. Like, we'll be fine.
And that's one of the weird, like, one of the problems I had. It's just like, how did this commune exist for so long with all this going on and no herds of zombies, like, ever attacking?
And
With
not
no-
even storing any weapons. They melt down all weapons
Yeah.
that come in contact with Babylon, so they can make peace pendants for your neck.
Indeed. Like, yeah, it's one of those things that's so absurd, but you kind of just, with a movie franchise like that, you just kind of go with it. But it's one of those things where
Well,
like, you're just like, how is this a thing? How does this exist?
I mean, I know a lot of people that would try doing that kind of thing, so I could see how it would happen.
Yeah.
But, so they have to devise a plan, since they have no real weapons. And their dumbasses lit off a bunch of fireworks, which was ringing the dinner bell for the zombies everywhere. Just kind of like how in the first one they started up that theme park,
Oh, yeah.
brought up all the lights.
And everyone just started colossing. You just see this huge mass of zombies just
Mhm.
going right toward the settlement.
Yeah, so they knock down some walls, they find all like their kerosene, stuff like that, and then they bring out a bunch of things to trail it so they can light a big area on fire. They get the zombies corralled into there after everyone gets up in this tall, like, kind of a defense post where they can stake out and
Yeah.
kind of look down. They have shovels ready so they can knock out the stragglers.
Indeed, because they're going to blow them up, like light a fire, trap them in there, and blow them up.
But that doesn't quite go to plan.
I mean, it works to plan. It
But
just
there's a
goes
lot
way
more.
more than they thought because they attracted a lot more and the herd grew.
So a bunch charge them, and then you get this moment where they're pretty convinced they're gonna die. They're all huddling up, they're saying their goodbyes, because there's way too many.
And then who shows up? In a
Nevada.
monster truck. That was awesome seeing that thing in action.
Then she just comes plowing through, rolls up, and is like, hey, you need a ride. And
That
then they all
was so
hop
cool
in.
the way you did that. Your hair's perfect.
And then you get to see some awesome monster truck rally stuff versus a bunch of zombies.
Oh,
Pretty
the amount
awesome
of power
flip.
slides. Like, that whole thing where it was like, what was it, like,
donuts.
yeah, like 5 or 6 straight donuts just mowing down this whole. I'm just like, wow, I feel sick too.
Yeah, no, Columbus is just bitching the whole
Yeah,
time.
he's just like, please let me out.
Roll the window. Just
I'd
let me
rather
out
be
to the
dead.
zombies. Just
It'd
let me
probably be
out.
more comfortable.
It's just like, oh, quit your whining.
Exactly.
But she does end up flipping the monster truck, which Columbus was worried about the entire time that he knew this monster truck existed.
And just like, I always knew that this was going to be a huge tipping hazard.
Yep. So they have to run out of there. But on the inside, since there's no weapons, they decided to take down some of the gates so they could have kind of like a shield sort of thing to block in the zombies, kind of like a pathway.
Yeah. Well, before then, though, like, Madison and the Berkeley boy throwing down stuff, like, because they were trapped. They got trapped briefly.
That's one thing I will say is highly improbable, because they are dropping things from the top of this very high tower.
Very accurate. We're talking
placement.
like 0 bombers
And
accurate.
there's at least like 40-something floors on this building, and they're at the top of it, dropping stuff down. Yes, it would have impact enough to kill someone, no question, but the placement landing exactly on a zombie?
Yeah,
0
like
chance.
they might have gotten a couple hits, but I mean, literally, it was 1 shot, 1 kill for them.
Yeah, because there's like a line of 4 zombies, like horizontal, and each one got like a perfect head case.
Boom.
But, you know,
it was fun though, yeah.
We can believe in it.
Yeah.
And then a chase up the stairway. Tallahassee gets a hold of an axe. And then once they're all
I
up
love
there,
the axe killings, like putting the axe through one of them's head, cutting another one off. It was awesome.
And the whole movie, he's been referencing that he has Blackfoot Indian blood in him.
When I first heard that, I was just laughing so hard.
Over and over and over again, he's drunkenly ranting about it. And he talks about running a bunch of buffalo off a cliff. So, when they make this pathway for the zombies to come up the stairwell to, he charges ahead of all the zombies, runs down, and jumps. And you think, just because there's this whole build-up about like making a noble sacrifice,
that it's going to be end for him.
You're like, oh no, he's going to die. But he grabs onto a crane hook and starts swinging out. And all these zombies just waterfall down off of this cliff.
It's like a bunch of lemmings. It's cool.
It's pretty good.
But then...
And then he swings back.
Yeah.
And 2 more come up and grab him by the foot.
Yeah, it's like a cop and a convict. It's so funny because they're all handcuffed together.
Yeah.
So it's like all this weight.
And you think it's pretty doomed. No one has a weapon. None of them can reach him. They're all complaining.
But lo and behold,
at the beginning of the movie, Little Rock got a present that was a gun
that was owned by Elvis.
To the president from Elvis.
Yeah.
And she's able to shoot the zombies that like of Tallahassee.
She hit it the whole time.
And she was too high to remember.
Yeah.
So
I've been there.
Tallahassee swings on back. He's rescued to safety. Him and Nevada can go wander off.
And then there's one more zombie that comes out.
One more. But he's a homer.
So he just sort of walks by.
He just runs.
Runs past everything, food source, and just goes plop.
Just jumps right off to join his buddies.
Yep.
And then you get to see a lovely moment where Wichita ends up getting proposed to again. And she says accepts. Yes. And then Madison is given the whole eyes thing over to Berkeley. And Little Rock is like, okay, just do it already. And then, yeah, they start making out. Nevada and Tallahassee make out. Little Rock's just kind of standing there awkwardly between everyone. And they trot off to have a good old time. And then you see him driving off in the end into the sunset in a pink Cadillac with a just married sign in the outro. Hinting there may be more.
Exactly, because home is now just them, their family.
Mm-hmm. As long as they're all together, it's all good. And they leave Madison with Berkeley Boy in Babylon.
Which works out because...
No more Madison.
Yeah.
For now.
Yeah. Oh, God. If they bring her back for the third one...
Maybe she'll become a hippie, you know? She was holding that bowl of weed, like, ah.
How could you get any more dumber though? She ain't got two. She's got 2 sticks. Yeah. And this is where you're going to want to stay because there are 2 end credit scenes. One is shortly.
Well, technically 3, including the audio clip.
Ooh,
so midway into the credits, you get to hear Jesse Eisenberg doing a voiceover about how guilty he felt about the whole killing of Bill Murray. He was like, in order to rectify this, we have to go back to 2009, which begins these little ending trailers.
Oh yeah, it was amazing. Like, it starts off this interview about Garfield 3, and then suddenly, like, one of the...
Al Gore.
Yeah, he turns...
into a zombie mid-interview.
And, yeah, Bill Murray's just like to his cameraman, let's go, let's get out of here.
And then he kills him with a chair.
Yeah, and that's the most amazing thing. Like, Bill Murray just smashing these zombies left and right with a chair.
Mm-hmm.
He's Bill fucking Murray. You're not going to get him that way.
Into how he survived so long.
Exactly. His cameraman did not make it.
And while he's doing it, I'm Alright from Caddyshack is playing in the background.
And a reference to Ghostbusters, which I was actually surprised because he did not like that movie at all. So I'm surprised he actually used that as a reference.
Well, I mean, he hated Garfield. And he's had to do that for the first and second movie now.
Yeah.
But definitely worth it to stay. And then if you stay to the very, very, very end, you get to see him coughing up a fur ball, Garfield style, in English and Espanol. And
part of my accent.
It is glorious. So worth the stay. Just saying.
Indeed.
So, I still say solid. I'll give it an 8.5 instead of an 8.3. Thinking back on it.
Alright, cool.
But definitely good. Worth a million C's. Gonna buy it on DVD when it comes out.
Hell yeah. And hopefully the trend continues if they make a third one, which honestly with the numbers I've been seeing, it would not surprise me.
I'm hoping. I'm honestly kind of excited. If they can make it as good as the sequel, then I'm all for it.
Oh yeah. Because trilogies have a way. They either bomb hard or they're forever remembered.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
The truth.
Bomb hard like The Matrix, or they rise like Lord of the Rings.
True. Lord of the Rings solid.
Oh yeah. So thank you for joining us tonight. Again, we will attempt to be back again next week. I haven't looked up what's playing, but again, like I said, things will probably be inconsistent. She, as well as working, has another big filming project that she's working on and has committed to.
Lots of schedule conflict,
but yes, we do keep in regular contact. Yes, we do keep in contact, and we definitely are trying to get things, and hopefully, I'm thinking, what do you think, like by spring next year we should be more consistent?
And again, I don't know if my schedule. So
yeah, I mean, depending obviously on the film, but I mean, probably sometime next year, like early next year is what you're thinking, maybe?
We'll see.
Yeah.
But again, we'll keep in guest co-host.
Exactly. But yes, I am really hoping that I have you for Dr. Sleep, though. Yeah. I really want you here. Like, even...
Hoping.
Yeah. Yes. As well as Star Wars.
And that should be good.
Absolutely.
And thanks for tuning in, guys. You all have a great evening or morning wherever you are.
Indeed. And yeah, same here. This will probably be posted tomorrow because it's like 1:30 in the morning here.
Woo.
Yes, it is early. We tend to do these late just because it works out that way, and we're night owls anyway. So we'll see you next time.